Aquaforest has added 2 brand new salt mixes to their lineup, Reef Salt Plus and Hybrid Pro Salt. We're going to take a look at how these salts are different from the rest of the Aquaforest salts, what makes them special, and who they're for. If you aren't already familiar with their salts, Aquaforest manufactures their marine salt mixes at their own lab in Europe and puts them all through ICP OES testing to make sure they meet the highest quality standards with precise values for each batch that you can actually check the results of yourself online so you know exactly what's in your exact bag of salt mix. Each salt is designed with a specific style of reefing in mind, and the major, minor, and trace elements of each salt are balanced to match that specific style of reefing. They also come in a variety of sizes and packaging options to choose from, so regardless of your tank size and maintenance habits, you can get your salt in a size and format that's going to work for you. So how do these 2 new salts from Aquaforest fit into their lineup? Let's kick things off with their Reef Salt Plus. Reef Salt Plus has elevated levels of alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium, along with a few other key elements, and is geared towards reefers who have mature aquariums filled with large coral colonies, especially SPS like Aquapora, that have high consumption rates of major and minor elements. So if you're currently using their Reef Salt, but your tank is now quite filled in, you can switch over to Reef Salt Plus, and that'll help you replenish your major and minor elements through water changes to take some of the load off of your dosing requirements. That being said, if you're the kind of reefer who just prefers to keep their reef at elevated levels, this salt mix is also a good option for you. When Reef Salt Plus is mixed to a salinity of 35 ppt, you can expect to achieve an alkalinity around 11.8 DKH, a calcium level around 459 milligrams per liter, and a magnesium level around 1427 milligrams per liter. Just like their other salts, each salt mix has its specific mixing ratios and instructions right on the packaging, with recommended salinities depending on the type of reef you have, along with the values of alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, and potassium that you're going to achieve when you reach that salinity. When it comes to mixing up Reef Salt Plus, Aquaforest recommends preheating your RDI water to between 75 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit and mixing the salt well for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, the water should be clear and the salt fully dissolved, and your fresh batch of salt water is then ready for immediate use. They do also recommend using it all within a few days of mixing it up, which makes sense given that most salts with elevated levels tend not to store very well for longer periods of time. If you do want to store larger batches for automated water changes, the original Reef Salt is definitely the way to go. Now, their Hybrid Pro Salt is really interesting. It's a kind of evolution of their probiotic Reef Salt, and it contains all the same probiotic strains for dealing with excess nutrients, along with necessary vitamins and amino acids, and it aims to closely match the levels of major and minor elements of natural reefs. But rather than just using mined salt, Hybrid Pro uses both mined salt plus evaporated sea flakes, making it a more natural option. Being a probiotic salt mix, it is really focused on those who want to run ultra-low nutrient systems, especially SPS-dominated tanks, by including both live bacteria and carbon dosing to keep nutrients like nitrates and phosphates low. It's great for those who like to do smaller 10% water changes weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly, but it is important not to do large water changes with this mix as it can drop nutrients quite rapidly. So if you do prefer larger water changes, you can do a 50-50 mix using Hybrid Pro along with regular Reef Salt to balance it out. When it's mixed to a salinity of 35 ppt, you can expect to achieve an alkalinity of 8 DKH, a calcium level around 431 milligrams per liter, and a magnesium level around 1361 milligrams per liter. When mixing up their Hybrid Pro Salt, you'll also want to preheat your RDI water between 75 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit and mix it very well for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, your salt water is going to be ready for immediate use, and given the nature of probiotic salts, you're going to want to use it right away, and make sure not to store it for more than a day or two. The bacteria that spring to life when the salt is mixed with water will need a food source to survive, so the sooner you do your water change and get them into your reef, the better. Like I was mentioning earlier, Aquaforest does have 3 other salts available, so if neither one of these newer salts seems to fit your style of reefing, one of these 3 just might be the perfect fit, and I walk you through them all in this video right here.